Something that fascinated me when I moved from Toronto to The Hague was the difference in the intentionality of space. In much of the Netherlands, and particularly in Holland, every square centimeter of land feels like it has a plan behind it. I think taking care of the land means a very different thing in Holland than it does in Ontario. The Netherlands lives under the constant threat of the sea. Missed measurements of only a few millimeters of water spell disaster for millions of people. As such, there is a reason for curating the land in the way that it is. In southern Ontario, and particularly in Toronto, there's a different kind of feeling. The land here was carved up thousands of kilometers away by European men with inaccurate maps who had never been here, and with the express intention of displacing the indigenous people who lived on this land in order to improve their bottom line. Grids of country roads expand out from Lake Ontario arbitrarily, often ignoring major geographical features in favor of the almighty rectangle. Some parts of the city can feel like they've been placed on top of the land artificially, like a cardboard cutout. Boundary music became a collaborative exploration of places that evoke tensions between built and natural environments. A dichotomy that is sometimes false and fraught with complex colonial and cultural histories. This can be as simple as the imposing feeling of standing next to a windmill against the sea, or as difficult and complex as a relationship between a major city road and a thousand-year-old canoe route on colonized land. When I started working with Kirkos, we had many conversations about places. Everything from the worldwide challenges of gentrification and lack of proper housing in major cities, to the ways that the design of our home neighborhoods changed the way that we interacted with the world around us. These conversations culminated in exploration of physical places. Small streams and the Lucan Domain in Dublin, a harbor and a field of wind generators in Wexford, a place where a parking lot slides into a ravine. And here, on what is now called the Humber River by settlers, an ancient trade route connecting the north of what is now Ontario to the waters as far south as Mexico, now bisected by the busiest highway in North America. In Boundary Music, each member of Kirkos Ensemble explored a place they had a relationship with, and how the built and natural environments interact there. The recordings you're hearing in the background of this video come from those original explorations. This is what became the source material for the music performed at the Grand Canal in Dublin. Musicians responded to the sounds of the environment, blending into the boundary between the natural and built soundscape. Each musician had a piece of material they could activate during the performance, transforming the soundscape into a representation of the place they had explored. This was an experiment in collaborative sonic mapping. Through sound, we were able to take some small piece of the experience of these disparate locations and transform them, distort them, and lay them over top of each other, while also exploring the strange sonic environment of the Grand Canal itself. The purpose of a map in general is to transform or flatten a place in such a way that it becomes easier to understand, often for practical purposes like planning or navigation. I think mapping through sound can do this in a more abstract, obscured way. What part of the experience of being somewhere remains once it's distilled into a recording, sent across the Atlantic for a composer to interpret into musical instructions on a piece of paper, then sent back and performed through live instruments in a different place? I'm not really sure that I know the answer to that, even after doing it, but I'd really like to continue asking those questions.